Mr. Duncan Smith said the UK would look at EU regulation to see whether it should be changed post-Brexit.It comes after the Brexit Secretary spoke in Vienna and outlined the UK's post-Brexit relationship, where he said Britain and the EU should be able to trust each other with regulations and the institutions that enforce them. Speaking on BBC's Daily Politics, Mr. Duncan Smith outlined EU regulation that he thought should be looked at in more detail after Brexit. He said, "Let me give you a list of them. I wrote them out before I came. I will give you a whole list." "Let me give you a list of them. I wrote them out before I came. I will give you a whole list." Iain Duncan Smith. After whipping out his list, the host quickly added, "Just a few to start." Mr. Duncan Smith continued, "The Clinical Trials Directive, which has dumped non-commercial trials in the UK, we were the leaders in commercial trials. Let's go on. The MiFID II, which is coming and is going to destroy a lot of ordinary small stockbrokers with a massive amount of new extra regulation. The other one which is quite interesting is Solvency II. Solvency II damages the UK because the UK has this equity market where people equity release as they get older. What's actually happened is that puts 1 to 2% extra cost on that. We will want to look at that. Labeling, for example, some of the labeling is so vast, it's bigger than the packages that they now label. There are more than that. I am simply saying there are lots of areas that we will look at. What Mr. Davis was not saying today was we won't look to change. What he was saying was we will always look to discuss that with our European partners in a free trade arrangement and explain to them why we want to change stuff where it's necessary, that's all. Labour MP Umunna could be seen closely observing the list set out by Mr. Duncan Smith as the Conservative MP read out the regulations he would like the UK to take a closer look at. The comments come as the Brexit Secretary spoke in Vienna to try to reassure European leaders the UK will commit to the highest regulatory standards after Brexit, which should mean minimum barriers to trade with the EU will be erected. Mr. Davis is set to visit 5 European capitals in 3 days, where he will outline how Brexit Britain will race to the top. During his speech, he said, "The agreement we strike will not be about how to build convergence but what to do when one of us wants to make changes to rules." Neither side should put up unnecessary barriers during this process. A crucial part of any such agreement is the ability for both sides to trust each other's regulations and the institutions that enforce them. Related articles: Foxfire's Brexit trade warning at EU, no barriers. Juncker's European Commission responds to David Davis's Mad Max remark. Tory loses IT with Labour MP in row over UK's post-Brexit future.